Hey guys, it's Max Clausen, and today we're bringing you an update to the Chimera deck profile. So, I know it's been a while since I posted a deck profile update or a new deck profile, what have you, but don't worry, I got y'all back because by the end of this week, the new Battles of Legend Chapter 1 is being released, and my locals should hopefully have it by Thursday, even though I'll probably be working that day. But Friday, I should be able to obtain the rest of the cards I need because I need the original Yubel cards. You know, it's kind of sad, but also, valid that nobody has the old Yubel stuff. But that's all, spoilers ahead anyway. So, I have a Yubel deck coming for you guys. Don't worry, that deck's about to be sick. But until then, we have one of the other best fusion decks, and that's right in front of you, the Chimera. So I've been testing out this deck again. I had to bring it out, got the mat right for it, and starting to fall in love with it again and again. And because we got new illusion monsters and other illusion-based support cards, this deck has gotten just a bit better. I wish we got more things that would list Chimera Fusion because that's literally how we do a lot of our plays, but because somebody will Konami is slacking. Anyway, we're going to get into the main, extra, and side, and some more duel videos will be coming up for you, so let's get into this. Starting off with our monsters, we do still only run the 2 Big Wing Berthomet. This is obviously the only level 5 Fiend that you run in the deck. On summon, he can add both level 4 Beast Monster and Chimera Fusion, and or you can do both, or you just do one, depending on what you have in your hand, obviously. And when this card uses fusion material, you can target an illusion monster in the graveyard and special summon it. And our most important illusion monster, of course, is the 3 Mirror Sword Knight. This is what gets all your Chimera Fusion plays started, literally your starter card. At quick effect speed, you contribute it to special summon 1 monster that lists Chimera Fusion in its card text. So you'll be using this to summon Berthomet, and Berthomet will get itself and its partner in crime, Gazelle. So if anybody does know, this is one of the cards you want to stop. You either Ash this because Imperming it does nothing. Imperming, Valor, Breakthrough does nothing against it. You have to have Ash exactly. So, and once in the graveyard, while you control Chimera, you can banish this card when your opponent activates a monster effect to negate that monster's effect, which is really great. Next up, we do have the Gazelle, as stated. On summon, he can add a level 5 Fiend or Chimera Fusion from your deck to your hand. And when used as fusion material, you can add 1 illusion monster from your deck to your hand, so it helps out search all your other illusion monsters. Obviously, these are the most important cards you want to get to. I never really want to see Berthomet in my hand because that's just whack. There's no other way to put it, just whack. You'll want to see either of these in your hand. These two will get you what you want to get to. Next up for our next illusion monsters, I know it's not super yet, but goddamn it, coming because this card apparently must be short printed as a super rare in a new OTS pack, and the only other person at my locals that did pull it plays a Chimera himself. I'm just like, oh my god. Anyway, we got the 3 Cornfield Quaddle. You can discard this card, add 1 monster from your deck to your hand that lists Chimera Fusion. And while you control Gazelle, while you control Chimera, the King of Flying Mythical Beasts, you can banish this card to negate any card your opponent activates that targets a card you control and destroy it. Next, we do play the Master Tau. Everybody knows you want to play this card at 1 because it helps continue on having bodies on the field to either fusion into or link into, however you want to do. So when this card is sent to the graveyard, by any means, you can special summon 1 illusion monster from your graveyard. However, you are locked into summoning illusion monsters from the grave for the rest of the turn. And for another inclusion for our newer support, we have one Emissary from the House of Wax. This card is pretty good because in one of my duel videos, you guys will see I did have this and he forgot about it. So this card is pretty much like a battle fader or Jack Frost. What is it? Those little what are the little flip effect monsters? I can't think of the name now. I'm brain farting on it. Anyway, it's like that. When your opponent attacks, you can special summon this card. You don't have to not control monsters to even use that, which is really sick. And at the end of the battle phase, you can activate this effect that any monster your opponent controls in attack mode cannot be used as material for anything, but they can still be tributed. But also their effects are negated, and that's just permanently. So that's a really sick effect of him, and obviously him being an illusion monster, illusion monsters cannot die by battle, and the monsters they fight can't die by battle. So if he just sits there the entire time, your opponent's never getting through to you. They have to waste like a monster effect or card effect to pop him, or hope you fuse off with it. Next up for our other monsters, I did go back to 2 Edgem Chain, and also, you know, showing up this card. Fluffles will be coming back. I got the inspiration, like, you know, I haven't been playing Fluffles as much anymore, and I do still love that deck, so working slowly on getting more of the pieces back together for that, so be on the lookout for that whenever it comes. Edgem Chain is just another Fiend to fuse, and another Dark Monster to fuse with. And when it's sent to the graveyard, you can add any Frightfur card from your deck to your hand. And when it's sent to the graveyard from the field, you can add another copy of himself. Next up, we do have the Horus Engine. Shout out to K-Mon for giving me the idea of this. Like, the Horus Engine, I want to be completely honest. The Horus Engine is good. I'm not disputing that. But it's like, the Horus Engine is good if the deck can, like, play with the Horus Engine. You know what I mean? Like, say I use him City to discard something, and that something gets an effect. Just like how his Photon Jumper was, Photon Jumper does. But not disputing the Horus Engine isn't good. It's very good, very, very. Especially like in all terms, I'd say getting this is much more impactful than getting the Wanted Engine, because the Wanted Engine, as expensive as it is and as good as it does help like Fire King's play, I still think that Horus Engine is a little better than it. That's my own personal opinion. You know, you can try fight me in the comments all you want, but I don't care. Next up, we do play the Big Chicken, Horus of Black Flame Deity, and the one Duamatef. Everybody should know what Horus Mseti does. Discard, get a King Sarcophagus, you get a draw. Duamatef, anything you in your field leaves, you can draw cards equal to different name monsters in your monster zone. Now, Black Flame Deity is a very new, and I really think you guys should get a card, because this card is actually pretty good. If you control King Sark and a Horus monster, you can reveal this card, send the card from your hand or field to the graveyard, and then send the card your opponent controls to the grave. Non-target, which is really sick. And if you combo it with the field spell, you can clear your opponent's field, and with the field spell up, you get a draw. So, you guys say this card, any of you might say this card is bad. First off, you probably haven't even tried it out. Just try it out, see how well it does. And it gives your opponent pressure, because it's like, I gotta worry if he's playing chicken, if they know you're playing it. Or, if they don't know if you're playing chicken, they'll easily play into it and then get a board wipe. They'll be like, damn. So, yeah, I think you guys should really play the Black Flame Deity. It's better to have it and not need it, and than need it and not have it. That's what I always say. And last up for our monsters is we do play the 3 Kashtira Fenrir. It's a new thing I'm starting to play into most of my decks, especially in this one, because Kashtira Fenrir, everybody knows, you have to deal with this card or it will be a problem. So you have to waste like an imperm on it or something, or a negate, because he will banish one of your cards face down. And it's just a free Cyber Dragon that can keep getting copies of himself or any Chimera card or Chimera monster. But that is it for the monster count. Now we're going to move into our spell count. Starting off with the spell card that's going to take over this meta. 3 Super Poly. Like, I'm not playing around when I'm playing this deck. Like, the fact that this got support with the new Yubel cards is insane. And I really think everybody should start maining Super Poly, just because Fire King, Snake Eyes will always have like at least 2 of the same type of monster on the field, and 2 are different. Like, the field's gonna be super polyable at some point. That's a word. I'm making it a word. So you'll often always be able to use this to summon Mud Dragon or Garura or anything else you have in your extra deck, which I do suggest you guys get more Super Poly targets. Next up, for our 2 ofs a lot, we play the 2 Chimera Fusion. I did run this at 3, but I decided to cut it down to 2 because I can always get this card to my hand and get it back, both from the deck and graveyard, because while you control Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, you can, once per turn, add this card back from your graveyard. Only thing that sucks about this card is that you have to only use it in the main phase. If we can use this in the battle phase, this card would be even more phenomenal, but you know, I guess Konami hates us. Next up, we do play the 2 Polymerization, along with the 2 Fright for Patchwork. Poly is Poly, and it helps give your Guardian Chimera its targeting immunity. Plus, you can search it out with Patchwork, so obviously you want to have that. You can bump this. I have this at 2 and Edgem's Chain at 2, just because I don't want to brick too much, because this is a hard once per turn activation card. You can up the count of Chain to 3 if you want to, but it's just like, at that point I'm just trying to play too hard into Joel, because this deck does lose pretty bad to it. Next up, we do have the Walls of the Imperial Tombs. This card is helpful to all of your horror stuff. First of all, it's treated as King Sark while it's on the field, so even if your opponent ashes your M-Seti or whatever, you can just bring it right back. But this card does help get M-Seti to your hand, because you can add a horse monster from your deck to your hand and pull a card back to the bottom. So you'll want to grab M-Seti, or if you already have M-Seti, grab the Black Flame Deity. So now your opponent goes like, uh-oh, I gotta worry about that card now. Next, we do have the 2 King Sark, excuse me. You want to play it exactly 2, because there are times if you open up like 2 M-Seti or another M-Seti later down the line, or if you open up if you only play 1 and you open up the 1, now M-Seti is pretty much dead in your deck. So play this at 2. You can play it at 3 if you want to, if you have the 3rd one. I just don't have it, so I play it at 2. Next, we do have the double triple Tactics Talents. If our opponent does hand trap us, we can just go like, let me look at that hand, rip another card, and then Chimera will get another card out of their hand. And then the 1 call by, just because, you know, you want to hit Droll, you want to hit D-Shifter. Those cards are the only things that really stop this deck. And the only hand trap of the deck is Infinite Impermanence. Everybody should know what this does. And that would be my deck at 42 cards exactly, because in this meta, playing more than 40 actually does help, especially if your deck can like dig through itself pretty easily. Now let's go into this extra deck. We do play the 1 Gazelle, the King of Phantom Beasts. Was playing it at 2, but I'm just like, I never go into the second one often. Plus, you only want to use this effect once, because all the other fusions you have do count as Chimera. That being Baphomet, the mythical King of Phantom Beasts, what a name. And then Chimera, the Illusion Beast. All of these count as Chimera while they're on the field and graveyard, I believe. Everybody knows this one hand rips you, and during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card, target a Beast Fiend or Illusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it. This will Foolish Burial a Beast, Fiend, or Illusion monster from your deck. So you can play the Barrier Statue, which I may actually put in this deck, make it up to 44 or 43. And during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one of your Beast, Fiend, or Illusion monsters that are banished, and special summon it. So these two go in conjunction with each other. And this is just OTK Machine. This card is so great because it gains attacks equal to the amount of fusion materials used for it. So it needs a Chimera, which is either one of those, and one or more illusion monsters. This thing at max gets up to 2 attacks, but 3 definitely gives you the OTK, because the first attack, you'll either run into something, taking a little damage, or giving them damage. His effect activates since he can't be destroyed in battle, and the monster can't be destroyed in battle. His effect will activate, making that monster's attack point 0. Attack into it 2 more times, and that's 6,200 damage off rip. That combined with Mirror Sword Knight is exact game, or over lethal. Next, we do have the 2 Guardian Chimera. One's for the combo, and one's just to like push for more damage. While polymerization is in the graveyard, can be targeted, as I stated before. And depending on materials you use from hand and or field, you can draw that many cards used from the hand, or destroy that many cards used from the field. But you have to be able to do, if you use the field destruction, you have to be able to destroy that many, because then you can't resolve the effect to draw. Next, for our super poly targets, we have the Mud Dragon, the Garura, the Dracostapelia, the 1 Magnum Reliever, and the 1 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This, obviously, you can make in your deck because you do have fusion monsters and a dark monster. These are the super poly targets. This is another super poly target, which, you know, thanks to thanks to Raid Raptors getting so much crazy support, this card has become a lot more viable. I may actually put in the Triple Verdum over the Magnum the Reliever, because his effect, first and foremost, to summon it, you have to use a monster from your hand and a monster summoned from the extra deck, which is oftentimes meaning like you can't even super poly into this, so you have to use your own fusion your own materials and resources to summon it, which is kind of whack. His effect is good because he'll get a poly or a fusion card back to your deck, and when an effect is activated, you can destroy a card on your opponent's field. Again, this is a good card, but I may actually, I actually am going to take this out for the Triple Verdum, if you do have that, because 2 more monsters that require darks. It requires 3 darks, but again, we're going into a format that is, we are in a format that is all fire, but having this and Triple Verdum will be better, because at most times, if you know exactly when to hit stuff like Raid Raptors, or like Raid Raptors, PK, Black Wings, any other dark deck, don't discount other decks just because fire is taking over most of the meta with Fire King Snake Eyes. You want to be ready for anything and everything in this format if you can. Any format, actually. So it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So I will actually be taking this out for the Triple Verdum. But for our ranked 8s, we have the Photon Lord, the 1 Infection Buzz King. This card is actually going to be pretty funny when you guys see one of the duel videos. The Star Slayer Typhon, just to bounce things and negate monsters with 3,000 more attack. Now we have the SP Little Knights over here, and the Euro Dark the Dark Charmer. Shout out to my boy Kareem for that. That's it for the extra deck. Now moving on to the side deck. I have this in the side because I have another card in the side. We do have the Droll and Lockbird just to throw it in. A lot of decks are searching, yes, but not like, it's the same thing with, this is just like an alternate to Ash, where Ash hits everything in the meta, everything searches, but if your opponent knows how to play around this card, they can like make it so they don't lose heavily. Like, having this is good, but in most cases, the decks that are out now, like Snake Eye, Fire King, or just regular Snake Eyes, they can, like, I'll droll you, sure. In one duel video, you'll see like I drove my opponent, but he was still able to get a crazy field off. And other decks just almost don't even lose to this card because they can do things like set their cards, or you like send it to the graveyard and add it from there. It's just a whole thing. Like, Joel is good, but you know, it also still does have its matchups where it just does not do well. Next, I do have the 2 Nibiru, and because we're playing those, we do have the 3 Crossout. You don't often play into Nibiru like that. Even if you do so, you can just Mirror Sword to negate him. But you really want to have this for this. This card just screws up the entire deck. Next, now don't judge me too hard. It's only because I'm having this card, which is Triple Tactics Thrust. Side this thing going second, and your opponent will play into it. And for the cards that we're having for Thrust is the 1 Feather Duster, the 1 Lightning Storm, mainly for back row, the 1 Regeki. Also, shout out to the alternate art of Slifer shooting this down. I will be getting that card, maybe like 2 or 3 of it. The 1 Evenly Matched and the 1 D-Barrier. Again, all 5 of these are at 1 just because I can search or set it off with Thrust. If anything, you can run like triple evenly or double evenly, double D barrier, and doubles of whatever else you want to. But in realistic settings, like, you're only going to be activating this card once. Any of these anyway. If you activate it once, there is a chance you should be winning the game. So, you know, you don't have to maximize off of all of your powerful 1-ofs because, you know, you can search it with us. And that will be it for the Chimera deck profile update. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this one. I do, again, as I said, have other decks coming in the works because the Yubel is coming. I can't wait to play with that. Like, I'm actually hyped for it. It's ridiculous how hyped I am. And I will be making an update to the Fluffles whenever I get more of the older support and stuff. And I do have another deck profile in the works, but I'll keep that to myself until I show it to you guys, and I'm sure, you know, it'll get a lot of views and stuff. But that's gonna be it for this one. I do hope you enjoyed again. If you did, be sure to like the video, comment down below what you would change, what you would add to this deck, some more of the like tips and stuff, and you know, subscribe for more content because we have been putting out a lot. And of course, thank you to all of you that have been subscribing and patiently waiting. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh videos are easy, but they also do take time to get the cards, so that's half the work. So in any case, I'm rambling. See you guys in the next video.